Just to let you guys know, this is a remake video of the first one that I made earlier today, and from what I've been told, there was no volume in that video, so I'm going to remake this one so people can get an understanding of what I'm trying to say about the situation with AJ Brown. Now, let's jump right into it. Well, it's official. The Eagles have denied all teams of trying to claim AJ Brown through trades, and the trade deadline ends sometime next month. I think it's the first week in November when it's supposed to end. But the Eagles are currently in trade talk with other teams about acquiring certain players on the defense side of football. But that's not about that. It's about AJ Brown. Now, reason why I mentioned what I've said earlier about the trade is because of what's going on with AJ Brown's situation. Now, as you can see below this caption, it says rejected. Eagles have turned down all trade calls for AJ Brown. Now, I'm not exactly sure how it started, but I want to say it started sometimes in the beginning of the season when it first started. Teams were still trading players because the trade is actually it's the beginning of September and it ends in November. The trade is more like a month and a half long, and there were speculations that the New England Patriots were showing interest in AJ Brown because he worked with former head coach of the Tennessee Titans, who is now the head coach of the New England Patriots, which is where his coaching and playing career began. But other teams has also been acquiring about AJ Brown because they trying to figure out the speculation of what was going on between the team and himself. Now, he said some things about Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley about the talk they had supposedly been in the facility, but it wound up being out on the parking lot, according to him. But at first he denied it, but then he reiterated what he said, saying that it actually occurred, but it occurred on the parking lot. He said Saquon approached him along with Jalen Hurts, and they talked out there on the football. I mean, they talked out on the parking lot, not inside the facility. So they were trying to get things back on page, but that happened before. That happened before the New York Giants game, I believe, or might have been after the New York Giants game. I'm not exactly sure when it occurred, but it have occurred anyway. But the thing with that is, I'm not exactly sure how they're going to turn out. I do know that all this stuff needs to end right away because I'm tired of hearing about the trade speculation with AJ Brown and the Eagles acquiring about him with other teams, and it had never been talked about. So this is a situation that had gotten so far out of hand. What he said would led a lot of people to think that he was going to be traded, but he has not been traded, won't be traded because of his contract situation with the Eagles. The guy has two or three more years left on his current deal. If the Eagles were to trade him guy right now, that they would wind up on up to $40-50 million to him in trade talks. But I always say the only way he'll be traded if he decides to rework his contract, but it kind of too early to redo the contract, too early to do it. You know what I'm saying? And so, other teams, other players on the team are do new deals in the near future. So, with that being said, AJ Brown's not going nowhere. He is not going anywhere despite the talks, despite the trade rumors, and all that jibber jabber that was being said about this man in the first place. And so I pray and hope that this comes to an end. It needs to end soon because a lot of fans like me, we all thought that he was going to be traded because of what he said in the locker room, which is why he didn't stay off social media. This man has social media on X. He has a TikTok page, I think. I think he also has a Instagram page. I think he has a Facebook page. I think he got all four phases of accounts with social media, including the Philadelphia Eagles media, which who started the rumor in the first place about him being traded. This is why he needs to stay away from all types of media. He needs to put it away, get away from social media in general, and include the media, the Eagles media. So if you see the Eagles media coming his way, he need to go ahead and just avoid them at all costs, because sometimes what you say could be detriment to the team. Now, this happened once before. 2004, if you guys remember, when the Eagles acquired Terrell Owens from the Baltimore Ravens via San Francisco. He gave trouble to San Fran, and San Fran tried to trade him to Baltimore, but Baltimore was going to take him, but Terrell Owens did not want to play for Baltimore. He said he wanted to play for the Philadelphia Eagles. So he wanted to play for the Eagles. And so, with that being said, the first year was a great year for Terrell Owens and Donovan McNabb. Great year. Then they started having their issues. And their issues led to the following year when the Eagles went to the Super Bowl. When they lost the Super Bowl to the New England Patriots, 30 some to 20 some, what it was, what McNabb threw, I think he threw for 200 some yards, 3 touchdowns, 3 picks in that game. And that last pick wound up being a costly one. And the following year, Terrell Owens was in a media circus with Eagles media and other sports outlets where he was outside exercising, and he was talking about his contract situation with the Eagles. And the Eagles were never going to redo his deal because they said he had one more. If he had played another year of his contract, they would have redone the deal, but he refused that. So he wound up being a detriment to the team, and the Eagles suspended him for that entire season. I mean, not for most of that season. He was released the following year, and you know what happened from that point on. So this kind of brings back memory of that era of football, and it does not need to return to the Eagles now, who supposedly, quote unquote, have a good relationship inside the locker room culture wise. And so this kind of reminds us one about the culture of the Philadelphia Eagles in the locker room, because it's so much drama in that team now. And you got to think about it also. BG said the same thing back here a year ago, where he said that Hurts and AJ's friendship wasn't the same as it used to be, and it's being displayed this season, as we all are aware. But here's what you got to think about: you ain't got to be friends with nobody to go win football games. You don't have to be, but you do have to get along with your teammates to win games. Because if anything gets in the way between that friendship and the game itself, you can lose. You won't only lose the game, but you'll lose the respect of the locker room. That's why you were appointed a leader. AJ been appointed a leader of this team. If you're a leader, you act like a leader. Don't lead like you are abandoning your post. Stand on your post, stand your grounds, and be a leader that you were appointed to be. Go out there and play your game. Help the team win to get back to the playoffs. Super Bowl, we can't talk about the Super Bowl right now because we don't know if we'll get that far now. But I am saying I'm glad this has been put to an end, because I'm tired of hearing about it. So with that being said, this is your boy, the Almighty One, bringing you the video about A.J. Brown and the Eagles denied all teams access to the services of A.J. Brown. And I am out of here. Enjoy your Saturday. Peace. I'm out of here.